Welcome to our webinar, How ERAMON Turns Self-Service Reporting into a Premium Feature. The agenda for today: introduction, an interview with Florian Schönknecht, a demo of the ERAMON solution, and a live Q&A. Your host for today. My name is Thomas Tipkin, Senior Solution Engineer from Jaspersoft EMEA. Please note, this webinar will be recorded and published on jaspersoft.com. Please use the Q&A for any question you have during the webinar. We will answer questions after the webinar or via email. You can find the ERAMON story on our webpage. Just navigate to Resources, Customer Stories. For those of you that are not familiar with Jaspersoft, I will do a short introduction and of course a mapping between the functionalities of Jaspersoft and the solution of ERAMON that you will see later in this webinar. What is Jaspersoft? The vision of Jaspersoft is to enable developers of application to integrate pixel-perfect reporting into their application seamlessly as the execution engine in the back, the invisible magic that makes reporting possible. That means we integrate pixel-perfect report into your applications. We can also extend that support with self-service and ad hoc reporting. It is possible to embed completely into any architecture, and we can deploy to any environment. With the Jaspersoft commercial editions, we offer a wide range of capabilities, mainly the Jasper Report Server, that is the foundation of the distribution and the secure manage and the enablement of self-service reporting. Next to it, our microservice architecture, Jasper Reports IO, if you just want the invisible machine in the back with a lot of power. And of course, to generate reports, we have also included the good old library only. The Jaspersoft Studio, that is the desktop version to generate pixel-perfect templates for reporting. And the Jaspersoft Web Studio that enables developers to control the templates deployed on applications just via web browser. And of course, our Plus is for the commercial edition that we protect your environments, support upcoming new features and all that stuff. So our customer solution and presentation today is working with the whole framework of the Jaspersoft architecture. So ERAMON is using the Jaspersoft server, and the server is containing a lot of functionalities like data connection to various data sources. Of course, the pixel-perfect world with the studio to generate templates from the studio on the desktop. And in addition, ERAMON is also using the ad hoc designer and dashboard designers massively in their application. We will see that in action later. It's very interesting. And the deployment methods of Jaspersoft is using the existing reporting tool or own application, and that's the fact with ERAMON. And of course, inside the server, we have a scheduling and distribution engine that is also heavily used by ERAMON in their environment. And of course, you have a direct access via API. Now I want to introduce my guest for today, Florian Schönknecht, Deputy Manager Director of ERAMON. Welcome to our webinar today. I'm very glad to have you. So let's start with the first topic of that webinar, where we will talk about ERAMON and the usage. So let's start with the interview. I have a handful of questions for you. And the first one is very simple. Please tell us about ERAMON. Thank you.
Yeah, ERAMON is a software company. We develop a network management solution, which is used to, as it says, to manage huge IT networks, including the devices, the parameters that are important to measure, to keep an eye on, so that the administrators of networks have an overview of the health of the network and can react accordingly.
What event or initiative led you to evaluate a solution like Jaspersoft? Why did you make the change?
The main reason why we were looking for another solution was that we had an old solution which was based on Flash, and we had to remove that, which was developed by ourselves. And we had to look into what kind of solutions are available, and if whether we want to do it by ourselves because we are a software development company. But we figured out quite fastly that we are not a BI company. So our strength is not in developing BI tools, but in a network management solution. So it was obvious for us to take a look into the market. And since we have a web-based tool, ERAMON is a 100% web-based tool, we needed something that we could embed into our solution so that it looks seamlessly like it is our solution. Although we don't claim to be that it's our solution, so it's openly managed that it's Jaspersoft that we use, but to be able to provide those kind of functionalities like the self-service web UI, or the possibility to on an ad hoc base analyze the data that we have in the system. Uh, it would have been too much to do it by ourselves. So we were looking into possible solutions, and Jaspersoft was one of them, and the obviously our favorite in the end, based on the functionalities that it provides. So yeah, that was the main reason was we had to get rid of the old version.
Okay. When evaluating solutions, what were the decision criteria? So you already give me the answer of the question. So it is the seamlessly integration of Jaspersoft into your application. What is now a web-based solution? You want to get rid of the old legacy Flash stuff in your older applications. And of course, adding self-service functionalities and dashboards for the end users. That was the key, one of the main success criteria for Jaspersoft. Okay, let's go on with the next question. Simple one. How did you find Jaspersoft?
Yeah, when we had our requirements set, we were looking at we just did simple web browsing. We Googled it, and we found a couple of possibilities, and Jaspersoft was one of them. So we reached out. Then we had the first conversations. We had a demo, and then we started to integrate it like a prototype thing that we did. Mm-hmm. To see if it's easy to integrate, if we have some flaws that we have to get rid of, stuff like that. And yeah, it was a good match because it wasn't only about creating dashboards, because if you want to do that, you can also easily go to open source solutions like Grafana, Kibana, stuff like that. But we needed also a pixel perfect reporting because our clients are used to do this, and they want to keep this kind of functionality. So we had to broaden our requirements and the view to look at the solution that we needed to embed into our solution.
So this sounds to me that the pixel perfect functionality was also one of the capabilities and requirements where Jaspersoft was chosen above other solutions. Interesting. So let's go on with the next question. Now this one is a bit tricky. So if you explore other solutions like Jaspersoft, what made you choose Jaspersoft?
Yeah, to be able to have the pixel perfect reporting was one of the reasons. But what was also very convincing was the support that we got from the very beginning, and also during the implementation process. We were like very good supported. There was always someone there to reach out to when we had issues. The partner network was quite huge, so that we also got external support for Jaspersoft from other companies based in Germany. So that was really, really good.
Can you tell us how you use Jaspersoft?
Basically, the whole thing that we used. We also use the reports. So when you start, you create an ad hoc view, and you can, based on the ad hoc view, you can create reports that you can also send. So the schedule piece is also integrated into ERAMON. So we use that as well. We use the dashboard functionality. We also use in the background the Jasper Studio to create reports, fixed reports, the layouts that we also create for our clients so that they have their own look and feel and their CI, which is also very important for our clients.
Who uses the reports? For what business benefit and why?
Different stakeholders, I would say. First of all, of course, the administrators itself. So they use it for the daily business they also use the ad hoc functionality to do troubleshooting sometimes to get more details, insights into what is going on in the system. And of course, the management gets regular reports, have their own dashboards. And the time to market, I would say, is not really time to market because it's internally used, but mainly internally used. Some of them also have reports for their clients, but usually it's internal usage. And so the time to market is quite fast. They don't have to get back to us in order to change something, to get new data in it, stuff like that. So it's really, really self-contained, and they can do what they like to do with the data they have.
So it sounds like that the functionalities are used by the end users of ERAMON software on the daily business. So every day, it's just a tool that they use all the time, right?
Yes, of course, of course. Our clients, they use it daily on a daily basis because you can imagine they manage networks like with a minimum 1,000 devices in it. And I'm talking about network devices like routers, switches, firewalls, not even the endpoints like laptops and whatever printers. So this is quite huge, and they have to be on top of that, right? So it's very, very important to have a daily overview about what is going on in the system, to have an overview about what configurations they have, what flaws they might have in their system and stuff like that. So yeah, it's on a daily basis very heavily used by the users.
Okay, great. Thank you. That was very, very interesting. So, and now let's deep dive into the most important part. Now we want to see the demo of the ERAMON solution, and the stage is yours.
This is our entry page, and what you can see right now is a dashboard that was created with Jaspersoft. It's demo data, so it's not live data, of course, but so that you get an overview of how a dashboard could look like. First of all, it's great to have the possibility to also include web pages like our own topology view, which is interactive, so you can easily access the data that you have in your system. You can also use jump points to other sites within ERAMON to get more details. So that's nice. You can also do stuff like that you have in weather radar in your system, stuff like that. But also the possibilities to analyze the data that you have. And for example, different chart types that are provided with Jaspersoft is very, very great because like there are more than, I guess, 40 all kinds of visualizations are possible. You can use the drill down functionality. You can open it so that you have it on a big screen. It's very, very interactive, so you can really easily drill down and get the information that you need to have easily. Also, you can use the filters to readjust the graphs that you have included, which is also very cool and is like a modern functionality of a dashboard, what you would expect. So that's really, really great. Change it again. See, you can quickly see, okay, there might be an issue here, so you can analyze it at what time and was it 8 p.m. yesterday, and you can go back to your colleagues, talk to them, and stuff like that. So it's really, really good and quick And it's so easy to set up this kind of dashboards in Jaspersoft. And as you can see, it looks really, really embedded and integrated into our solution. You wouldn't feel that it's like a third-party solution that we use, which makes it so simple and integrated into our system. Let's, for example, create a new ad hoc view, for example, with the inventory data. Select whatever you want to into your source, and then the data is already loaded into the system, and then you can easily analyze by just selecting whatever you want to select. It's here, it's so quick. You just have a result. You don't have to wait until, like, for example, to set it up on a blank space and run it and to see whatever you get. But it's like really self-service. You can see it, you can count the devices. It's so cool and simple. And then this is a cross-tab for the cross-tab functionality in the ad hoc view, which is kind of pivot table from Excel. But you can also really easily combine this kind of information when you want to see, okay, in which country is the data? Just drag and drop, see, okay, this is all in Germany. So you just have a very quick overview about whatever you want to do, right? You can easily change this kind of information to graphs whenever you want to. You can open the lines, stuff like that. It doesn't really make sense at this point.
Yeah.
So easy. Right?
Yeah.
So that makes, and it's easy to use, you know. From that, you can use that and go to and create a dashboard. You can work on the existing dashboards.
Yep.
And also here, it's so simple and so easy. Maybe this one. See, so simple. Just drag and drop, you get it. An overview. You can save that. Once it's saved, you can go back to the main page. And you can see it's already included into the dashboard. So simple, so easy, and quickly done. You can open it, you can see a different view again on the data that you want to see. And on top of that, you can create reports that you send on a regular basis to whatever stakeholders you have. See if we have one here. Just imagine you want to create a report that you want to send out on a regular basis on some inventory stuff that you have. You can either use a crosstab or a table, just a normal table, and just say, okay, I want to have the device name. And I need to know which manufacturer it has. I want to see the device type that it is. And maybe you want to see where it's located. And this report you want to save and report on a regular basis. So then we have to select where it's saved. Then you can use some kind of templates for the layout. Unfortunately, I do only have the standard ones in here, so I cannot show you how that looks like from our client view.
Just simple add a logo in the heading also, right?
Is now available and can be, first of all, accessed. And you can use that one as well to send it out on a regular basis by email or put it on a share, stuff like that. For example, just like this. So you could have a layout behind that if you want to, A4, whatever format you want to have. This is totally customizable. And this is where we use the Jaspersoft Studio to create layouts. But also you can create a new schedule for this report. And you can say you want to start it immediately. You want to have it every month, like every Monday, you want to send it out at 1 o'clock in the morning. You can use a name, a description. You can define what format you want to print out. So this is also a great set of formats that you have available. Of course, first of all, PDF, but also you can use Excel sheets or whatever. You can define whether you want to have a particular format of the file name that you want to use. If you want to store it on a regular basis, you can store it in the repository, but also you can put it on a other host system, FTP server, or send it by email. Like, for example, you want to send it to info@eramon.de. And yeah, this is what you can do. You can also, there's like report, you could say this is monthly report. And that's it. Then you save that.
So you have integrated all the core functionalities of Jaspersoft into your application. So what we see here is your application, but everything in the back is coming from Jaspersoft.
Exactly.
So starting with standard reports and dashboards and ad hoc reports, you have integrated all into your application.
Exactly.
Impressing, really impressing. So you read from the repository which report or folder is available and integrate that into your application. So that's pretty impressive, really.
Exactly, and it's so easy to integrate the data into Jaspersoft.
How long have you invested to integrate all that stuff in your application? So how long is this project?
Oh, in total, I would say 1.5 years, like until it's properly done.
Yep.
But only with one FTE. So it was only one person working on that project.
So that sounds the project was not that big. So, and you selected this step-by-step approach. So you started with some core functionalities and extend the functionality step by step.
Exactly. You go into step by step. Yeah, exactly. First of all, the most important thing is to get the data connected to Jaspersoft. So first of all, you have to figure out what way is the best way to integrate the data. For us, it had to be in 2 different ways. On one side, we use domains for the inventory data, but for the data like the measurements that you can see here, for example, we use topics because it's much easier to integrate the SQLs. And it has more possibilities to influence the SQL than in the domain. And the data of the measurements, the data sets are so huge. That's why we needed to have these 2 different approaches.
That's a good point, because both techniques are standard functionalities in the context of ad hoc reports with Jaspersoft. So sometimes you just need more control about the data source in the back that captures the data, handles input parameters. So in this case, you use the topics. And if you have just a normal relational data source in the back, you can use the domain, what is a bit more straightforward. So Thank you, Florian. That was really amazing. Nice to see Jaspersoft in action in your environment. As mentioned before, the full stack of functionalities. You use the dashboards, you use ad hoc, you use the scheduler, and it's seamlessly integrated into your application. So everything looks like your ERAMON solution, and administrators of big, large network environments can monitor the ES actuality, status, historical data. Very impressive. So finally, that's the next step of our webinar is the Q&A. I'm just looking at the incoming questions, and we will be available for that right now. So stay tuned. So now also with a video. Maybe you've noticed that we have presented you today a recording. This is because on a short notice, Florian could not make this today. So we decided to create this demo and the interview 1 week before. So he's sending us regards, and I'm able to answer questions. And we have some questions coming in into the Q&A. So I try to cluster them a little bit because some of them are more for Florian, but maybe I can give the correct answers as well, and more of them are more about Jaspersoft in general. And so let's start with the questions directly for Florian. So it was interesting. So what was the biggest technical hurdle ERAMON was facing during the implementation of Jaspersoft? And I think the answer was already answered by Florian during the presentation. His message was something like, the biggest challenge was to have the right data connection and set up the data sources and the connection at the beginning. And after that, it was so simple to just integrate the first pixel perfect reports. And after that, also the ad hoc and dashboard part and the schedulers, because of the capability of having these topics that we talked about earlier in the domains. So they use both very heavily. So they use MySQL database, for example. So this is maybe also from interest. So, then there was another question. Is the ERAMON solution a SaaS or an on-premise installation? And this is a more complex question, but I answer part by part. So no. It is an on-premise solution, so it's installed on each customer's prem, so they do not have any centralized SaaS application. And an additional question was, how do they manage and update the control of the templates? Is there something like a version control or something like that in place? And the answer for that is yes, definitely. ERAMON is using GitLab for do version control and deployment stuff. So everything is handled centralized. So this is maybe if you're aware with Jaspersoft in the web in the studio of Jaspersoft, you can go to preferences and there you see some team settings, so you can select whatever tool you are prefer. And there's a third part of that question. So is there any extra cost of the premium functionalities? In the navigation tree, we also saw there's a premium reporting and ad hoc and dashboard. Is that a premium feature that is an extra add-on with cost for the customers, or is this available for every customer? And therefore, the answer is also easy. I know that. That this is available for all the customers. So this is just to make sure that this solution for ERAMON is just in total a premium functionality and a feature for them. So there is no additional cost for customer. So and then let me look into the Q&As again. So there was something else that was interesting because we have seen the ERAMON application is an integration of their own application with Jaspersoft. Jaspersoft is more or less invisible. And the dashboards, of course, are, if someone knows Jaspersoft, is 100% the look and feel of Jaspersoft. So the question is, what level of customization and extensibility does Jaspersoft provide for the unique reporting requirements of ERAMON? So this is also, I think it's very straightforward. First of all, what Jaspersoft offers is a very robust and flexible platform that provides extensive customizations by default. This is our nature. So we want to be customized by our customers. So customized by customers. Yeah, but that's true. And highlights of that might be you can have something like theming, white labeling, so you can make Jaspersoft look exactly like your own application, so we will be completely invisible. And of course, the programmatical point of that. So we are in the API first approach. So you can just have the power of scripts and APIs. You have seen in the navigation tree on the left, so there was a premium reporting dashboard. This is all in the application of ERAMON, but then they call in the repository with REST what element is available. So that's why they built this starting screen where they can say search and add new and execute something. This is all driven by the APIs with information coming from the Jaspersoft server repository. So it is hand in hand. So that's pretty interesting. And they also highlighted during the demo that they like the idea to use custom visualizations. So they have this topology view with the map, with the components on it, the weather radar and things like that. So that was also an important part. So this is a typical example for that. And of course, there's the possibility to use custom data sources as well. So this is the typical thing that's important. So, and wait, I have to look a little bit. Yeah, there's another one. So, and there was not only once the question about what is the specific license consideration on that. So, if you have a service, if you want to sell software and embed Jaspersoft, what is there anything? Yes, and that is. First of all, in the Jaspersoft world, we are specialized of having this kind of independent software vendor licenses concept. So we really want to fit into your environment. And I would highly recommend you, if you are in the stage of thinking about doing that, use our webpage, use the contact us and get in touch with one of our account managers. We just try to understand your use case. How many customers, how many environments, is it more or less, is it an individual solution that you build for a customer, whatever, all that factors matters. And we can discuss and tailor a license model that makes sense for you and your environment. So wait, there was something else. The question is, what about if we need multi-tenancy or scaling an application because we have peak times at the month ends or year's end or something like that? And that's also interesting. And ERAMON, they have also the full enterprise functionality of Jaspersoft integrated, and that includes the multi-tenancy, independent parts of the repository with its own security. This is because ERAMON's customers also sometimes have clients that are, from the point of view of the customers, are independent tenants. So this is also definitely one built-in functionality that just needs to be used. And if there is really this kind of big amount of reports at peak time, keep in mind, in the Jaspersoft world, we have a microservice called I/O. This is built just to be the luxury version of the library. So you have the APIs, JavaScript API, REST API to communicate to the libraries and build reports extremely quickly with a less overhead and in a scalable environment. If you say we have to build 100,000 reports in an hour or maybe 1 in a million reports at the end of year. What we also have is the at scale version. And what this is the microservice, and it is cut into logical pieces. It is put into a cluster, and it could scale. Every element of that could scale individually. It can scale up, and again, if the peak is done, you get scaled down and you use less resources. So that topic that will be interesting for that might be the Jaspersoft at scale. So let's double check the questions. I think I have all questions that comes to Florian and also that are especially for Jaspersoft. So if you're interested in try out Jaspersoft, keep in mind on the Jaspersoft page or the community page, you will find a try now button. Just click on that button, you have to register and you get a 30 days trial for free. Feel free to do that. We will get in touch with you if you like. We can guide you through processes and maybe we can do solution demos as well for your use case. Keep in mind that this is also a nice option, starting kind of proof of concept or whatever. And of course, if you want to get in touch with someone of us, there's on the community is a chat. You can click on contact us and on our jaspersoft.com as well. And I think that was a great use case by ERAMON. Nice demo and very interesting interview. Even if Florian is not here, I want to say thank you for taking the time, being with me, doing the recording, and thank you to all of you being with me here and with us, and watching this webinar. And I would say thank you for today. Great time. See you next. Watch out. We have a lot of events coming. So go to jaspersoft.com, the resources, events. You can follow us there and you can see more of this kind of webinars coming soon. Okay. Thank you and goodbye.